Hello, everyone. Nice, a nice hot cup of tea is exactly what I need today. Oh, goodness. What? Hello, folks. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, I'm still here. Okay, this is good. I'm still here. Sorry, I just got a weird reload page message in the middle of this. All right, okay. Let's start all over again. Welcome. Welcome to our. What's going? Come on, come on, come on. Computer, work with me here. Hi. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another live stream, another pop-up art studio on Facebook. So happy to be here. We do this every Wednesday. It's a way of connecting with everyone who's out there who wants to connect and who is able to connect through, this kind of virtual art hive way. Yeah, we can't necessarily gather together in the way we used to, but this gives us a chance to come together, create, talk with one another, update on, where we're at, where our creative projects are, what kind of things we're getting inspired by, maybe even troubleshoot some things that we're stuck with creatively or in our lives. The same kind of conversations we can have in the art studio, we can have here too, just in a slightly different way. Now, my name's Mary, in case you don't know who I am. I'm usually the one who does the Wednesday live streams. We have some awesome live streams that go on Tuesday nights as well, and Zooms on Monday night and Thursdays. There's lots of ways you can get involved in the Living Room's virtual Art Hive programming, and we still have a few weeks left. So enjoy it before we go on a little break, and we'll, have to update everything in the new year to see what we've got and, what we can do with one another then. But, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Today, it's just about being here, creating, making art, connecting. If you're out there, say hi. Let me know that you can see me. Let me know you can hear me. But if you don't feel like participating in the chat, that's okay too. You can just take care of yourself wherever you are. Create in whatever way you feel you want to create. Do what you need to do. And that might not be art. That could be washing dishes or finishing that paper you're working on or marking that paper that your students submitted, right? I get it. If you're just, you're doing other things and you can't make time to make art yourself, perhaps you can listen to us or watch us and just enjoy that creative vibe that comes your way. Maybe let it inspire you for something you can do or work on later on. But for now, yep, I'm here and I'm going to make some stuff for the next hour and a half. So, yeah, let's take this journey. I'm not even sure what I'm going to make. I have an idea, but how I'm going to make it, I'm not so sure. So let's switch over and have a look at that. What's on the table today? What's on the table today? Okay. And just another reminder for folks, if you are out there and you're wondering why I'm not saying hello to you, I can only see people when they participate in the chat. So if you're just watching or listening, you don't have to worry. I can't see who you are. And even if you're participating in the chat, I don't know if you're coming or going. So don't feel bad if you can only stay for a few minutes or you need to, do something else and come back in. That's okay. You do you. What works best for you. All right, more tea. And let's start working. Okay. And I know folks this is such a busy time for everyone. In fact, maybe I should just start out by acknowledging that and saying hello to everyone who's just doing their best to get through this last little bit of the year. Holiday season is holiday season, but there's also, for students, this is an incredibly busy time. For teachers, educators, this is a very busy time. For anyone like us who's writing grants or working on those policy pieces that need to be finished or figured out before the end of the year, this can be a very busy time. Holiday times that are sometimes so bubbly and happy and, they're sold to us like this really commercial, buoyant time. It's not always the case. This time of year stirs up a lot of stuff for a lot of people. So I want to acknowledge that. And if what you need to do today is more about self-care for yourself and getting out the ugly through the art you make or the creative things you do, please feel free to do that. I'm going to be working on a little project, a little kind of, what would you call this? Like a miniature diorama maybe, a little world in a box. But you might need to scribble or finger paint or journal. Just journal the stuff out that you need to get out. That's all right. And of course, spiral warm-ups or any kind of warm-ups you need to do, always welcome. Little bits of little art snacks. They're always useful. Hey, B. Ah, well, yes. So B says, it is a rough time of year for me. Yep, totally get how it can be tough for other folks. And just making space for that. Thanks, B. Thanks so much for sharing that. And I'm always aware of that this time of year. And you can just tell that we're all, there's a blanket of, I don't know what it is. Sometimes just a hazy blanket of quiet that kind of falls over us. And we begin to withdraw isn't the right word, but we begin to take stock and kind of recognize the little parts of ourselves that we maybe haven't been taking care of in the way that we could have, the parts we've neglected, or kind of making note of the parts of ourselves that we will take care of as soon as we have a moment to. So I'm going to invite everyone, you don't have to wait for a big block of time to take care of yourself. Having little mini moments of self-care, little mini moments of quiet, of stillness or reflection, or for some folks that self-care is about activity too, like little tasks to help you feel on top of things or motivated to do more, maybe even to distract you from some things. Like all of that counts. It doesn't have to be a big, huge thing that you make time for. It can be little things in between those moments or linking those other moments that you have throughout your day. Does that make sense? Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. If it doesn't, that's okay. And I'm sorry, B. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to everyone out there who's having those rough times or anticipating rough times. It's kind of like we begin building that little shield for our heart to help us through. That's okay. You're welcome to do that. In fact, that's a great art activity for anyone to do. It's kind of imagining what you need to take care of yourself this time of year. And if it's a shield, if it's like drawing out a little shield or, paper macheing a shield for yourself or a little pendant that you can wear over your heart or stitching one or, whatever it might be, I invite you to explore that, the metaphor of creating something that will help protect you and give you that little bit of added strength. Ah, yes. And B saying, again, highlighting another really interesting and important thing around this type of year. B says, I would prefer to exit capitalism for like 2 months in order to burrito into a blanket with a stockpile of carbs. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I hear you. That's actually what that's my holiday. When people say, what are you doing for the holidays? That's what I'm doing. You can add in maybe books alongside the carbs, some books, some movies, music, but definitely it will involve pajama time on the couch, wrapped in a blanket. And if I don't need to go outside, I won't go outside. That's okay. I think that's okay. Those little, we need those times of year to refuel. And I was just talking to Yafa. Some of you might know Yafa from the Cornwall Art Hive and some live streams that Yafa has done for us. And just, reminding each other about that self-care piece and about refueling, that when you're someone who gives or wants to give or tries to give, it's important to feed yourself, to nourish yourself, which sometimes is about stepping out and stepping back and saying no and creating boundaries for yourself and doing your best to not feel guilty about doing those things. And everyone struggles with it. I don't think I know one person who hasn't struggled with stepping back or saying no or, hopefully be like B, for example, no one's challenging you on this and saying, come on, there's it's okay. It's okay to want to withdraw sometimes, as long as it's with intention, as long as there's awareness. I feel that for myself, anyways, when I begin to worry is when I've slipped into that place without making the choice to go there first. That's sometimes when I go, okay, what's happening here? Is this what I actually want, or is this a sign of something else, like not feeling well and needing to take care of my mental health or my physical health in some way? And be saying, at this time, I'm still making cards for pals. Refueling is super important. Yeah. And sometimes it's that. It's nourishing yourselves through creating things for other folks. Like, so this box is part of that. I have a thing for containers, and this is inspired by other makers out in the community like Sarah LaRock or Barb Nash. Some folks might remember Barb from those early years at the studio. People who like making miniatures of things and in spending time investing in small worlds, small scale worlds that can open up big parts of their imagination. And it can be, again, like little artworks. So cards are little works of art. That's why I love making cards. And this was a little inspiration, like a little box I made months ago, goodness, maybe even over a year ago, out of a matchbox. I love matchbox art. I love it. It's a little, finicky. And I definitely glued myself to this box a couple of times while I was making it. But I just love this little secret world that you can carry around in your pocket. And I was mentioning Barb Nash, the fabulous Barb, who took matchboxes and made these ornaments out of them. And I love these ornaments. They go on the tree every year. I have them around, and every time I look at them, they take me to a lovely little magical place in my mind. And I think of the person who made them, but I also just imagine the worlds that you can enter in, like through these little works of art. I just love that. Yeah. They're just lovely, right? So based on that today, I'm going to work on a little box, a little miniature world, slightly larger than that. And it's out of an old, like just the boxes you might get gift cards in or things like that from the dollar store. I think now's the time of year where we're going to see a lot of these things coming up, and oftentimes they get thrown into the trash or recycling, and I like to hold on to them. That should be of no surprise to anybody, because you never know when you might be able to use them for something else like this. And of course, there's more ways you can, where are the other little things I have here? Again, you can use matchboxes, right? Whoopsie, hello computer, come back. You can also use tins. Like if anyone gets, like tins of mints or things like that, always hold on to these. These are fantastic for use in art making, projects like this. But this one I'm using just a little gift box. I think it had it was a box for a gift card, I think. So it's been hanging around the studio for a few years now, so I decided to finally use it. So here we go. And I know so that it's the cards and things like the things we create that bring us joy, that help us feel grounded, that help us escape for a little while, like just a little while, right? It's a beautiful feeling to find yourself immersed in a project and have time just melt around you, and you come out of that zone feeling refreshed and inspired and awake, whatever it might be. It's such a beautiful thing. And for that, it can be any kind of making. It can be making like poems or creating songs or knitting or crocheting, whatever art it is that you do. Making time for a little bit of it each day, even just a little bit, can like give that to you, right? Kind of just like recalibrates, reboot your brain and everything that goes along with it. So maybe that's a good question for folks who are out there, if you're watching or listening. Even if you're watching later, once it's been archived, hello to you too. Feel free to answer this or share what helps you refuel this time of year. What are the things, the processes or the activities that you do that help you recalibrate and take back your time, your life, your spirit, your energy, whatever it might be, or help you protect your energy, your spirit, your space, whatever that might be. Inquiring minds want to know. None of my beeswax. You don't have to answer, but if you're out there and you have some things that you'd like to share, things that have worked for you in the past, feel free. Feel free to put them in the comments. Ah, and B says, those tins are great for making very small sewing kits as well. Yes, 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 of course. And B says, yeah, making cards for pals is great. I have to set alarms so that the hyperfocus doesn't turn on me and I come out of it ravenously hungry and not realizing I strained my arm. The other side of getting lost in a project. Timer is a great idea. Top tip. And Momo says, hello, Momo. Momo says, refuel, coffee all year. And poetry. Oh, yeah. Reading or writing poetry? Or both? Today I was reading some Mary Oliver, beautiful poet. And Mary Oliver is one of those poets that I just, sometimes there are poets that, in the best way can agitate me or get me excited or get me inspired, the kind of thing you might read and you turn around and run to create your own work to get the words out somehow. There are so many amazing poets of that, like nature, but with Mary Oliver, it grounds me and suddenly just opens a piece of my heart up that I wasn't expecting to be open. Definitely a poet that helps me feel grounded and, yeah, a refueling poet. And Momo says books or lately audiobooks, reading and listening. Yep, making time for that. That's my, audio, not audiobooks, but reading on my little device. I was very anti-reading devices for a long time because I love books. I know I'm tearing them up right now to make this project, but repurposing old books it can be difficult for folks who love books. But reading is one of those things that also, whether it's reading poetry or reading books, beautiful escape for me. And sometimes, like B, I have to set a timer because I can get so pulled into the world that everything else can disappear around it. And hello, Alicia. Liz saying, hey, Mary, and you awesome Living Room community members. I'd like to get your lovely insights and input on what attributes/traits you associate, with the Living Room Community Art Studio to help with some brand kit development stuff we're putting together. Nice. I know that sounds super fancy, but it actually could tie into the conversations we're having about, what we love, what helps refuel us, what helps us protect our creativity, our creative spaces or places. We're trying to get a bit fancy and figure out what are the things that people associate with the living room. So while we're having these chats about protecting our energy and our creativity and the things that refuel us or inspire us, feel free to throw stuff in there about the living room too. So Alicia can help us develop, this little package we're making up. And, it's always so weird because brand is such an intense word and it's very corporate-y. But what we're really trying to do is figure out a shorthand so that we can describe what we do as an art hive, but also as the living room to other folks in a really easy way. So we'd love your input on that. Throw it into the comments. And I might also throw in, as long as we're talking about poetry, Alicia has a poetry workshop happening tomorrow, Healing Through Poetry. That takes place at 1 p.m. tomorrow. It's a Zoom workshop. And the first one that Alicia did was involving music and writing. And this one is really interesting because it's involving images and photography to, bridge between those worlds. Writing inspired or somehow connected to image and everything that goes into an image and the stories an image contains. So if you're interested, we'd love to see you there. That's 1 p.m. Thursdays. I guess tomorrow's a day of writing because we start off the day with Danielle with the writing workshop Zoom as well. So there's writing opportunities for everyone tomorrow. Come on out and join us. And Alicia saying, and who better, yeah, exactly, who better to help us define what the living room means to us than you lovely folks, everyone out there in the community. So please feel free to share in the chat what traits or attributes come to mind when you think of us. Oh, that's lovely. Thank you, Alicia. What would we do without our most excellent community? And B saying, oh, lovely. Yes, so on the theme of poets that kind of help us heal or ground ourselves or inspire us. So Richard, is it Seekin or Saikin? You know what? I'm not familiar with that poet, B. I've got to check them out. Rupi Kaur and Mary Oliver have been my jam. Saikin helps me feel energized. Kaur helps warm my heart. And Oliver brings a sort of peace. Absolutely. Peace is, that's it right there. A kind of expansive, breathable peace. Yeah. Isn't it so, it's a magical thing what words can do. Powerful and magical. And let's see. Momo says, yeah, brand is an intense word. It is an intense word. So what's a better word? What's a better word? What can we call this thing that we're putting together? And definitely working, because we're working on a few things, like the glossary that we worked on a few weeks ago. We're excited about these things because they can be shared with other people as well. We don't want them to necessarily just belong to the living room. We want them to be resources that other art hives and other community art studios can find some use in, to use to, in whatever way they like, in whatever way they feel it helps. All right. So we have that going. I like where that is. I'm wondering if I should paint the sides. Let's see. Let's do a bit of this. And I think it's, so generosity. Generosity? Oh, Momo. So is that a word that you associate with the living room? That's a really beautiful thing. Thank you. That's a really beautiful thing to associate. And I think that's something with art hives in general too, isn't it? Just this sense of a giving kind of quality. But it's not just that, it's an exchange. So generosity sort of speaks to that. Oh, and Mom was saying, yep. Well, thank you. That's amazing. If we only had one word, that would be a fantastic one. But it's an interesting conversation, and I keep threatening to join in the wonderful, there's a meeting with the Art Hive, all the Art Hive folks, isn't there, every other Friday. And I think it's time. I've been wanting to get out there and join in for a while now, and it's just, there's been so much going on. But I think there's one next Friday, and I'd like to step in a little bit as well, just to reconnect with everyone, because I do think of generosity when I think of that group of people. And that includes you, Momo, and all the people who, share their time, their resources, their magic with the community. Yeah. Oh, more words. Kindness, innovation. Wowzers. Wow. Wowzers, thank you. And this, of course, when we use these words, I think one thing we can also say is that it's a reflection of how people engage in the Art Hive as well. So it comes right back to the community members that we work with, the community members that contribute to what we do and participate or appreciate. Appreciation is a really powerful energy. And I think sometimes it's easy to, think, oh, well, that's not a big deal. Or it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really have an impact. It's nice, but it doesn't really have an impact. I'll never forget one of my teachers at drama school talking about appreciation. And he phrased it like it was the opposite of being a critic, but just as useful, if you know what I mean, right? Maybe more useful. Appreciation, if you can imagine being an appreciator moving through your life rather than a critic, then you're going to notice more and see more and experience more and benefit from more from everything that's available to you. Sometimes critics are the people we turn to learn about things, but I think we need to turn to the appreciators. That's what I think anyways. And let's see. Oh my goodness, lots of words from B. Things that I associate with the living room: exploration, curiosity, kindness, fullness of spirit, connection. Wowzers! It's lovely, thank you. And Momo says, next week we are doing the year-end closing and we are making art, revisiting the open studio process from Pat Allen. Pat Allen, I'm a fangirl. Absolutely. Then I think that would be an excellent week to attend, to celebrate and honor everything, all the contributions and the energy, because just even knowing that that network of support is there, even though I haven't taken advantage of it personally as much as I could have, and I wish I had, knowing that they're there has been an enormous support. Just knowing you're not alone in this endeavor. All right, so I'm putting that in the calendar, Momo. Putting that in the calendar. And a wonderful thing for everyone to do, actually, just that art process. And I suppose it is getting to that time of year, too, the end of year. So for us, what does that mean? I think for folks who are interested, probably the 20th and the 21st will be our last days of virtual programming before taking a break. And then we're going to be out in the community. We're going to take the Mobile Art Hive out on the road to a fundraiser for the Backdoor Mission, or Mission United, a fantastic organization here in Oshawa that works with people from community members from across the board to help them through difficult times, to connect them with the resources that they need or want. Such a great organization. So we're going to take the Mobile Art Hive there, and we're going to do some art, and we're going to listen to some music, and it's a big street party. They're closing off a street, and it seems like it's just going to be such a fantastic time. I'll probably share the event on our Facebook and that. So keep an eye out for it. And of course, we're going to have, how could I forget this? We're going to have our Mobile Art Hive reveal, an online YouTube live stream reveal party for the Mobile Art Hive. And that's next Thursday, December the 16th. So save the date, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on YouTube. Join us and you can check out the living room, the Mobile Art Hive, and everything that we've done to it. Bee's had an opportunity to be, up close and personal with it, but even then it's changed since we first, took it out, piloting it, getting it out in the community. I have a feeling it will keep on evolving as we move forward, as we learn, how we can best use it and how we like to use it and what works, what doesn't. Oh, wow. Oh, wow, that's amazing. So Momo saying, the coloring book from the Living Room Community Art Studio came up as an example in the conversation last week. So we were thinking of you all. Oh, that's so great. I was meaning to come on out. I really wanted to. And Momo throwing up a little emoji of a bus. We're excited. Just excited to finally have something to share with folks. And also, of course, to recognize the folks who helped us create it. So the Trillium Foundation, because without them, we couldn't do it. And B says, oh, can't wait to see what else has been happening in the bus. It grows, it changes, it evolves, more stuff. There's definitely more stuff in the bus. which could just be a tagline for the studio in general. And right now it's that stage that I suppose every art hive goes through when it's first open or new. It's very tidy and clean, and there's no paint splatters anywhere, no, crusty glue on the corners of anything. Just waiting for that, to have it a lived in feeling. So that's, yes, Thursday, 7 p.m., Thursday, December 16th, 7 p.m. rather. Tune in to learn more. And have a live Q&A too, so if folks have questions about how we did it or what we're doing with it, or what the future of the Living Room project looks like right now, we can have a good old chinwag about that. Because I know there's a lot of people out there who just don't necessarily know. Maybe they're not on social media as often, or they miss some of the conversations that we have here. So hopefully will give us an opportunity to get back on the same page with a lot of folks that we haven't had the chance to connect with in a long time. All right, what do I want to do now? Green, some green. I'm painting this knowing full well that I might just cover everything up. I was here with another bus emoji. I gotta learn where these bus emojis are. I gotta figure them out. And B saying, still sparkly and new, so no glitter adhering to every surface of the bus? Not yet. Not yet. It's funny wondering where, how to store glitter and stock glitter. And, there's controversy over glitter, and just trying to manage that. We have the glitter sealed tightly in a jar right now. Not the little tiny bits of glitter, but kind of the bigger, flakier pieces of glitter. Those are in a jar. And we shall see what's going to happen. Because anyone who's worked in an art hive where there is glitter, you come away at the end of the day, and even though you didn't go near the glitter, you will have glitter on you somewhere. Sometimes in you, sometimes in your your water jar or whatever. You're like, it's just a mystery. It's a mystery of glitter. Speaking of glitter, I think it's time to start adding some texture to this. So how am I gonna do this? Let's see. Let's cut some little pieces that I can insert into my little diorama box. All right. And I might paint these a little bit as well. But feel free for folks who might be joining us now or listening in the background. If there are things you want to share, we had sort of two conversations running through. One about self-care around this season, how we take care of ourselves, reboot, connect, create those boundaries for ourselves, the things that inspire or refuel us. And I suppose the other conversation is about words or things you associate with the living room to help us with how we explain what this is. Like if we had to have a little shortcut in explaining living room land, how would we do that? But of course we can talk about whatever we want. And memories of the living room space. And B says, this sounds almost like a PSA. Y'all, every time I went home from the physical storefront living room, I'd bring it home on my socks somehow. Glitter. In your sinuses, oh my goodness. Washed it out of my very short cropped hair, even when no one was actually using any that day. Yeah. That's how it happens. And I think that's another reason why glitter is being reimagined and questioned, because if it's that invasive, glitter as an invasive species. We need to do something about that. And I'm sure there's conversations in Art Hive land about this, as there is everywhere, about certain materials or tools that aren't as environmentally friendly, because that glitter stays in the universe. You can guarantee that it's in our sinuses. It's everywhere else too. All right. So let's see what that looks like. Yeah, just doctoring up a bit of felt. Give some texture, some landscapey vibes to this little miniature diorama. I don't know what the theme is yet. You know why? Because I don't know if I'm making this for a gift yet or for myself. Gifts to self around this time of year, that they can be important. Really important, actually. For every one of us who has that, giving nature. Things we can give to ourselves. Which I guess that's very much on the theme of the things we do to help us recover or repair or refuel, the gifts we give ourselves in that way. Let's see here. Yeah, let's give this a little more texture. I like what happens when you paint on felt. Scuffs it up a little bit. Hey, Jay, so good to see you. Welcome. How's Jay doing? How's Jay's clan doing? I imagine for families everywhere, this is also a busy time of year. Oh, and Jay says everyone's watching. Hi, hello. So, question for Jay's clan. What are things you do to refuel and to energize and to enjoy this time of year? Little things that make it special for you. What are the things that are important for you to do this time of year? And Momo says, your boxes reminded me of the worry boxes we created this past Monday in the Arts Wellness group. I am still working on mine. Oh, awesome. Oh, that's another group I was sorry to miss. Yeah, the worry boxes, what a great idea. I think you can, well, maybe you can have too many worry boxes, but if you just, spending time on creating this little special thing that will be a part of your life and be used in a special way. Oh, I love that idea. Worry boxes, love. It might be too personal, but of course, if you want to share a photo when you're done, please do. Yeah, is this a worry box or is this something a little different? I think this is a little, maybe this is a box, a breather box, a little escape box. Maybe when I open it up and look inside of it, maybe it'll help me have a moment away from whatever it is. An inspiration box? A little different than an inspiration box. Just a little breather box. I don't know. And B saying, glitter is an invasive species. Yeah, it turns out there's a biodegradable glitter, but I don't know where to get any. And as on the topic of self-gifts, okay, so part of my self-care plotting, I love that, plotting for self-care, always a good thing in my books. There we go. During this time of year is searching through my stacks of cross-stitch patterns to find a nice gigantic project to play with over the next few months. Absolutely. Yeah. Lay that out. That's part of that protecting our energy and protecting our time thing, like making sure that we have things available for those moments when we need them or we want to reach for something and we can't quite find it. Love that. And you've done some amazing cross-stitch projects in the past. Oh my gosh. So many amazing things, Bea. Just gorgeous things. And Jay, as far as checking in and how Jay's doing, absolutely exhausted this week. LOL. Yeah, I think I'd say you might not be alone in that. I think a lot of us are feeling that. A lot of folks out there are just kind of at that stage of maybe in the between, like hanging in or looking forward to or pushing through. I don't like finding myself in that place, but I think it's something that happens sometimes, isn't it? Well, I hope the exhaustion is as much due to things that you are enjoying doing. And, because you can tire yourself out from things you love, I think, like from doing and being present in that way. I think that's fair to say. Where are you going? This little piece wants to escape from me. So I hope that it's from good things. But if not, we'll doubly vibes, putting the vibes out there for you to take care of yourself. And I hope you get time to relax and restore yourself soon. Restore ourselves. Oh, what a lovely thing. And B says, so again, for this self-care, this piece, lots of baking for others, and eating the tasty things myself. Self-care through deliciousness. I love that. Oh, and Momo, oh, lovely. So the boxes and a theme of like these little boxes that we're making. Momo says the community created worry jars and happy jars and gratitude boxes, etc. Ah, love it. So it doesn't have to just be about worry. These little things we make can be places that hold on to or store other things too. Gratitude, wellness, inspiration, happy jars. A happy jar is a beautiful thing to make. I love that idea. I love that idea. And Jay saying, we have little traditions. So on the subject of what we do to take care of ourselves, those little breaks, art snacks, and creative wellness things, like decorating our tree, spending special time together with each person. Each of the kids picks a baking recipe, and we bake together one-on-one and make gift boxes of goodies to give to families and friends. That just ties into what Bea was saying so perfectly, Jay. I think cooking together, if you have that time and the ability to do so, is such a beautiful thing. There's nothing like that. It's like making art together. It has the same kind of vibe, putting the ingredients together, watching it grow and change and adapting it, adding in your own personal touches. Oh, wow, that's lovely. I love that. And I think in the past I might have benefited from one of those cookie boxes or treat boxes, I think, at the studio. I'm having a distant memory of that. Oh, I miss that. And, just on the subject of glitter. So this is headline news, I suppose. Jay says, I've heard of edible glitter, food dye and granulated sugar, and bake it, but I haven't tried it. Oh, no, wait, go, come, what am I doing? I haven't tried it, but I want to. So that's interesting. Oh, come on. Ah, there we go. Edible glitter would be a good environmental replacement. It maybe wouldn't last as long on a project that you're making, but definitely something to look into. And Momo was saying that reminds Momo of a watercolor recipe I tried with berries and sugar. And you're right, it looked glittery. So maybe there's something in that sugar, whether it's natural or the kind of, well, any sugar I suppose is natural to a certain extent. Something about the sugar and the glossiness that comes from it that gives it that shine or sparkle. Oh, that's glue. What am I going to do here? All right, so next steps on this. I think I'm going to, you know what, I should glue these down before I forget. So I know I shouldn't use the same brush, but I'm gonna, because it's such a tiny little project. Famous last words. Now you could use a glue gun for this, I'm sure, but me and glue guns lately just haven't been getting along. Whenever I need one, I can't find it, and then when I find a glue gun, I can't find the glue for it. I know I've got it, I just can't find it. So regular old white glue to the rescue. A lot over here, a little more glue here. And Jay will remember. So Jay, I had these little things that inspired. And hello, Johanna. Hello. Jay might remember from the studio because you were one of the community members that was there with us in the beginning. These lovely little ornaments that Barb Nash made out of matchboxes. Isn't that cool? This is part of the inspiration for this project today. These little beautiful ornaments that Barb made. I love them so much. Just little kind of like, how lovely is that? Yep. sometimes, all the time, let's be honest, I fall in love with people make. I just love it. And I love how we can inspire one another, and spark new things and new ideas and new approaches. Let's see. And Jay says, oh, today I was called to my kid's school by the supply principal saying my son was in full crisis. Oh dear, which is unusual. He's been doing so well and not been in crisis in over a year and a half. Class was evacuated. He's throwing desks and chairs. Got to the school to discover they called the wrong parent. It was a different, scared the crap out of me, and I haven't quite come down from the adrenaline yet. I can totally understand that. Oh, Jay. Sending hugs through, just if you want one. You don't want one, you don't have to have one. Love and whew, there's so many things there, so many feels there. The feels for all of that anxiety and care and, all of the things, the worry that's there, the love that's there, and then the switch and the relief, but also the concern for the other child as well. And this time of year can be so difficult and so intense for people. I think you know that everyone who's here in this live stream or even watching it later once it's been archived, that there is lots of love coming your way. And for that fact, anyone who's out there who needs it, if you want it, it's there. This just a little kind of knowledge that you're not alone. And this time can be so difficult for so many of us. Taking those moments to come down from those more intense moments we will probably each of us have this season, making time for yourself to love and appreciate yourself, and that protecting the space to do those things and doing whatever activities you need to do to ensure that you have that groundedness. What a day. I can understand why the exhaustion is there. What a day. But sending out that care and that comfort, what package it comes into you, to just take what you need and do what you need to do to work through that. Oh, goodness gracious. That's so much, right? And lots of us are experiencing those things, whether we're little people or big people. We're having those moments and anticipating those moments. But I'm glad today that moment wasn't one for your family in that way. I'm glad that Liam's okay. And Johanna's saying, hello again, Johanna. When I first found you, I looked up Art Hive Community Art Studio. I wanted an art hive. Mine may be small, but I'm extraordinarily grateful to all of you who inspire. Oh, Johanna, that's so great to hear. Isn't that the Art Hive way, though? Dream big, start small. An art hive, what does Janice say? An art hive can be, putting down a picnic blanket in a park. That can be an art hive. It's about the space we create and share with one another. Not necessarily the place that it's in. Like the four walls don't define what a community is. We define that through what we give and what we make available for other folks as well as ourselves too. Oh, Johanna, what a lovely thing to say. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. And I want to know how your art hive is doing. Speaking of, where are you in the process? Are you any adventures or inspiring tales you'd like to share? It doesn't, like art hives, it sometimes seems like they're everywhere and it's easy to do, but it's not always easy. And again, that self-care piece along the way, so important. Which side should I do? This side or this side? I think this side. So I'd love to hear about your art hive. And if there's anyone else out there watching or listening, if you've got art hive stuff going on or you're starting an art hive, as Momo was saying, there's that wonderful group every other Friday. So next Friday will be the year-end wrap-up where the Art Hive folk come together to appreciate and honor their journeys. It sounds like just a big fun time too, just to have fun, if nothing else. That's a beautiful thing, but always a fabulous resources there of all possible kinds. And just real care for one another. You may never, I might never meet everyone who's there in person. I hope I do one day. That would be amazing. But I think it's, again, knowing that they're out there, right? That we're not alone in these strange little dreams that we have. That matters, doesn't it? So right back at you, Johanna. Right back at you. And Jay, oh, yes, Jay says, Mary, we always bought a big box of home baking to the studio to share. So it's good. I didn't imagine it. Okay. Even had the kids pick vegan recipes. Woo-hoo. Gluten-free recipes, but free, etc. So there was something for all. And Jay does remember those ornaments that I shared. These little guys here that Barb made out of matchboxes. I love them. And I've been staring at them all week, so they're in my mind. But yeah, there's coming together for, I don't know if any other art hives are out there doing, if it's possible to do celebrations and where you're at, but I know things are a little bit different this year, as they have been the last few years. But I hope wherever you're at and whatever you might be doing or thinking of doing, that you're feeling safe and comfortable. And perhaps, perhaps even hopeful. Hope is a good thing. Hope is a good thing. Let's add some more of that. And Momo with, oh, lovely. I need to master, the art of emoji is still very new to me. I need to figure it out. So folks, welcome if you're tuning in now. And Jay, for the record, saying, I will take all the hugs. So Jay, I think you're getting lots of hugs coming at you. And hugs for that other little person out there too who was in crisis. It's a heartbreaking thing. What can we do? Just makes me think of and wonder what we can do to be there for one another, even if we can't physically be there for one another. And how important it is to appreciate the love and the care that we do have in our lives. The things or the people or the rituals, activities that help us feel whole, that help us feel grounded, that help us feel alive, help us feel like ourselves. It's important. Those things are important. And B saying, oh, yeah, look, see, the hugs are coming your way. Jay, I'm sending you love and peace, pal. I'm baking a mug brownie for myself right now and wishing I could share it with you. What about me, B? Can I have some of that mug brownie? And Momo says, Friday, December 17th, community care through art making. So that is the theme of the next Art Hive kind of collective meeting. That sounds amazing. If there's a link for that, feel free to throw it up in here, Momo. And B, or Momo is asking B to share that mug cake recipe, and I wouldn't mind that either. And Jay saying thanks to B, much appreciated. Jay's off shortly to pick up your kids and best friend's daughter from school to my daughter's haircut appointment, then home to make supper, and hopefully a nap too. Absolutely. Take care. Naps are excellent self-care. Excellent self-care. I'm going to put this aside for a moment and start working on my trees. Naps are important. I think, yeah, underrated, important, essential self-care. How do I want to put these trees in here? I'll figure it out. Maybe I need to put some felt in the bottom of this here. Okay. Felt is going in. Mug cake. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, yeah. I'll take some of that mug cake for sure. How much of this do I put in here? Apologies for just holding it up there. There we go. That's good. I'll trim off the excess a little bit later. Oh, there's egg in the mug cake. Oh my goodness. Oh well. Oh well. Well, and so, oh, about the Art Hive meeting next Friday, Momo saying that's the theme in my head. So that's that whole community care through art making. I guess it's always the theme of Art Hive creativity, isn't it? Community care through art making. But yes, it's a theme in Momo's head, not necessarily an official title, but we will be making art next Friday. Oh, and the Thursday, the night before, if you want, you can tune in for our live stream reveal of the Mobile Art Hive. How about that? 7 p.m. YouTube. Be there. Or not. You do you. I'm not the boss of you. And there's egg in the mug cake, so oh, that's okay. But the recipe can be shared with everyone else, B, for the mug cake. And there must be mug cake recipes out there, right, for vegan mug cake. I think I've made 1 or 2 in my time. And Momo's interested in the original recipe. Oh, and Momo's saying we'll tune in. How lovely. Well, thank you for that. And Johanna saying, ah, interesting. Yep. I work in a shelter, so I can't say much, but we are making jewelry with my with painting drips. Love it. The clients love them and forget their troubles for a little while. We are restricted by COVID, so I'm working on a project, kits custom made for clients. Perfect. There's lots of ways to work around like this difficult time that we're having. I think it is about imagination, isn't it? And recognizing when we need to take care of ourselves, but also just, sorry, phone call coming in from Oshawa Animal Hospital, but I think everybody's okay. Everybody's in the house. The fur family are here and everybody's okay. All right, so good. Yeah, making kits is one way to kind of think outside the box, and that's what we'll be doing in the Mobile Art Hive, a whole lot of that. And I know a whole bunch of art hives have been doing that through the pandemic, so we're not alone. Nice. Oh, and I forgot those things downstairs. Oh well. What have I got here to create with? I'm gonna make some little watercolor tree branches now. So I've got this little scrap. So I'll put this aside and get the watercolors out for a moment, only because they're kind of fast. I can use them a little faster than other things I might have on hand. That's a great idea, Johanna. And the art hives that are out there, there's so many amazing art hives, and some of my favorites are some of my favorite hives are the ones that I see happening in shelters. And it's always an interesting balancing act, isn't it? Because in art hives and shelters, it's finding the respect and the support and the care for the people that we're working with. I'm going to work on the other side of that. Protecting them, keeping that confidentiality, respecting their journey and their healing process. But it's also finding ways to help people feel seen and heard who want to be seen and heard, and creating the structure around that so they don't feel as anonymous and isolated as they might normally. And that happens, of course, through just getting together and making art with one another, or virtually getting together and making art with one another, as the case might be for some shelters. But when I worked at the shelter for a long time, and COVID, of course, made that a little trickier to do. But while I was there, as an art therapist, there was this sense of, surprisingly, more often than not, people wanting to be visible somehow through their art. Maybe they weren't in a place where they were safe enough, or didn't feel, it wasn't something that they're, for their own privacy or things like that. They weren't necessarily putting themselves out there physically with a picture, but creating art enabled them to reclaim their space and have their identity and explore their identity in really safe ways. Safe and manageable and fun ways. Because you're right, it's just about, sometimes it's about taking the break away from everything else to be able to focus and play with this one thing that's in front of you. And paint drip jewelry. Oh, that's a great idea. We've talked about like acrylic, using like peeling acrylic paint off of things to create jewelry, or little tiles like mosaic pieces to cut them up. I love that idea. If there's anything that you want to share from that, Johanna, please feel free. I'm not sure what you can share, but if you have some examples of your own that you want to share, we'd be happy to see them. And let's see. Oh, back to the mug cake. B saying this mug cake brownie one was a gift. So it's like flour, sugar, powdered egg, cocoa powder, proportions, no idea. Basically cake mix in a paper packet. Yep. Now in the show and tell post that we do after this, so that will be around 3:45 maybe. Sure, if you want to share mug cake recipes, go for it. If you want to share other recipes, go for it. Let's see if we can dry this off a little bit in my impatience. That's a creative endeavor. Baking, cooking, all that stuff, that's creativity too. Same as gardening. Well, maybe I should do the other side of this. All right. I don't know who I'm saying all right to. It's like this, the little inner critic in my head. How's everyone's inner critics doing these days, by the way? We're having these conversations about protecting our energy and our space and our time. How are your inner critics dealing with that journey? Mine is becoming very bossy these days. Lots of shoulds and musts and you gottas. Yep, that's what happens. I think it's part of that the exhaustion or the tiredness we begin to feel around this time of year too. Our guard gets dropped a little bit with those things, doesn't it? So just being patient and understanding that that's going to happen, I think that's part of the process. There's always time, there's always opportunities to have conversations with that inner critic. It doesn't have to all be done in one moment, in one day. All right. So this, I'm not quite sure what I'm doing here, folks. This is a bit of an adventure. I know I want to create a little tree. I'm going to try and use this pipe cleaner to do it by stacking little scraps on top of one another. Oh, okay, so this is good. So checking in with everyone. Momo says, inner critic is alive and well. Wendy says, hi, Wendy. Wendy says, my inner critic is very loud lately. And B saying, I found, oh, well, this isn't the inner, oh, it is. I found a very large box for my inner critics and crammed them in there. They're noisy but muffled. Yeah, that's what another use for a little box like this, right? An inner critic box, just to throw all of those things in there. It reminds me of like, just like being able to place the things that you don't want, to throw them in there. I think that's a great idea for another box. And Momo, just on what your inner critic's saying, yep, loads of I shouldn't have. Oh my goodness. Inner critics, what's up? Come on. Yeah, they get loud. They get loud when we're tired. They get loud when we're busy, when there's just different times of year where they begin to pop up and just percolate and, raise their voices. So it's good to know I'm not alone in that. So, well, here's a question then for everybody. So how have you been talking back to them? We know that bees cram them in a box. Love that. You can put that box under the bed. You can put it out in the yard, on the balcony. You can take it to the dump if you want. What are some of the ways that folks are coping with their inner critic these days? Again, inquiring minds want to know. I have just this method of acknowledging, I think, for me, is such a huge, important part of it. Just being able to say, like, yes, I hear you, instead of pretending that it's not happening. Just being able to say, I get it. You want me to do this. You're getting bossy. Fine. Now, be quiet. I acknowledge what you're saying. Sometimes that acknowledgement is super helpful, and it's the thing that helps it all, right? Just makes those voices a little quieter. Other times, not so much. I have all my pipe cleaners right now, or my pipe cleaners, the studio's pipe cleaners are on the bus. So I just have this one pipe cleaner to play with today. So let's see what I can do with it. I'm going to see, where's my pointy thing? Is that one on the bus too? See, now is when I start realizing that I've moved things out that I actually need. Okay, all right, fine, fine. I'm going to use a sewing needle, and I think I still have those here. She says, looking for one. I was just here before the live stream. Oh dear. So as to what helps with that inner critic, Wendy says long walks seem to help my inner critic. I think if I can, if I walk fast, it can't keep up. Yeah, maybe that's part of it. Maybe. And what B's inner critic is saying things like, you should work harder, work faster, that isn't right, that seam isn't straight. That's from the critics. They sound very much like Statler and Waldorf from the Muppets. Gosh, I can hear them now. I see them and hear them. Oh, those are two funny but powerful voices of inner critics to have in your head. And then V in response says, thanks for the input, but I'm going to keep doing what I need to do. Cheers to that. Absolutely. And Momo in response to Wendy, that's saying, so inner critics are like zombies. They walk super slow. So maybe that's Wendy's inner critics, like slow moving zombies. So maybe someone else says, there are different kinds of zombies, right? The fast moving ones that we see in Romero's zombie movies. Those are a completely different breed. Maybe someone out there has fast moving zombie inner critics. And if you do, I feel for you. But I suppose there's other ways to deal with them too. All right, I can't find anything. And my inner critic is getting very noisy. Yes, I know. I should have prepared better for this live stream. I should have made sure I had all my supplies around before I started. Inner critics. Well, inner critic, I'm enjoying this process, and I know I'm not going to get it finished before the end of the live stream, but that's okay. I can continue working on it. I don't think anybody will mind, and I like what I've done so far, so thank you for your input. Back off. There you go. One conversation down. But yeah, those inner critics, they just come at you. They come at you. So good thing pipe cleaners are a bit pokey. That seems to be working just fine. And it's actually helping in a kind of surprising fun way, because it's, as I'm pushing the paper down, and it's crinkling and bending, and it's giving a little more shape to this little tree thing I want to have. I think in Barb's ornaments that I showed earlier, she used the tops of little scrubber brushes that she had. I think you can buy packs of them for not very much money, like tiny ones, like tiny little bottle scrubbers. And she just trimmed them and then used them for her trees. I wanted to explore what I could do with paper. And this is one thing I found. You can also like do the strip and the kind of the fringe effect, and then kind of like wrap it up in a spiral and then pull it out to get a kind of cool tree effect. But I just like the jaggedness of this a little bit better. Yeah, inner critics. We do what we can. And every once in a while they have something positive or thoughtful to say, but a lot of the times they're just airing their grievances when it's not much help at all. Oh, pipe cleaner. Oh, pipe cleaner. Now I'm thinking maybe I will put this tree aside, because I think it's going to take a little more work, and I think I do need a needle to punch her. It'll be easier if I punch these pieces with a needle so that I can just thread them super easily. So I'm going to move on to adding a few more details in the background of my box. So what things do I have here? Hey, Laura, how's it going? Welcome, and welcome to everyone else who might be tuning in now, whether you're participating in the chat or just watching or listening from where you are. I'm working on a little box out of an old gift card box, I think, that I I received or that came into the studio a few years ago. And, you know, just on the spirit of little miniature things that we can create, like matchbook boxes and matchbook ornaments and things like that. But we're also talking about, you know, self-care, and especially around this time of year that can be exhausting and tiring, and the expectation is for joy, peace, and love when sometimes we don't feel that for ourselves, and we may not feel it for other people either. We expect a lot of ourselves. We work very hard, and our inner critics get agitated much more easily than they normally do. So how do we talk back to that inner critic? How do we protect time for ourselves so that we can find a way to be present and grounded and enjoy this time of year? How can we plan for that self-care and plot it out with intention so we know it's waiting for us when we have moments to take advantage of it? And then another question that Alicia asked, what folks think of when they think of the living room? Words that might come up or phrases. And this is helping us kind of figure out like who we are. If we had to describe ourselves in a shorthand to people through words alone, what would that look like? There we are. There are some pieces. So I'm just going to move this out of the way. All of this stuff. All these little wooden cuts we have from our laser engraver from making journal covers and things like that. I'm just going to add those in here. And Laura's saying, I'm good, just doing what I can. I did a bit of sewing last week, made a few cats. So when Laura says that, for folks who does not have magical powers to create animals, but little sewn stuffies, cats and toys and things like that are so lovely. That's so good to hear. And B saying, yep, the art supplies scavenger hunts through my desk, bins and fabric bags are super fun. I generally find stuff that would be useful that I didn't think to put on my mental list for a project. I'm making a giant 10 centimeter diameter ornaments. Oh, lovely. For a couple of pals in all sorts of wild colors, and I discovered I had neon felt. Yes, gathering your supplies beforehand isn't always the best thing for me. Take that, inner critic. Right? There are things we discover along the way when we don't necessarily plot or plan things out. That spontaneous art and those moments of discovery and genuine, I don't know, like joy, just that feeling of, haha, I found this. This is something that I love and I wouldn't have figured it out otherwise. And you're right, I might not have reached for these that I just happen to have over there in the heap that I keep meaning to clean up. I think that's on the theme of clutter as well. Sometimes it's really nice to have a nice, clean, clutter-free space, but every once in a while, having the stuff around you that just piles up in little bits and pieces can be really useful. In this case, it was really useful. Oh, and Laura's saying, so on the theme of cats that you're sewing, Biggie cats from an old pattern. I love it. I love it. Reminds me, there's a tea cozy, a teapot cozy I've been wanting to make for a long time, and it's a cat cozy, and it just stands up really, like, I guess about a foot high. Very funny. Not necessarily practical, but it makes me smile. Maybe over the holidays, I'll take a crack at it. But it's nice to be able to have those projects that you can turn to. I'm excited to see the results, Laura, if you want to share them. And Momo, everyone just having a little moment over neon felt. Neon felt. It does exist. It does exist. So maybe now I'm going to add some snow since I found the word snow. So let's see. Do a little close-up to see what's happening so far. Nope, that's again for P-Flag. Art close-up. So this is where I'm at right now with this project. So there's still the whole outside of the box to do, but I love working on the inside first. Yeah, let's do a bit of that, so that's good. And actually, speaking of all the little bits and pieces, I have this bag of bits and pieces. I'm just going to reach to the bottom of that bag. I'm going to pull out some, let's pull out some things, some exciting bits and pieces and see what I can do with them. Oh. A bag of stuff. Oh no, don't fall out everywhere. Don't fall out everywhere, all the stuff. Having a little bit of what Margaret would call a crapalanche there. All's well. All's good. And let's see. Oh, interesting. Hi, Barb. Barb saying, hi, everyone. Hope you are all doing well. I set a 1-hour self-care timer every day. So this is fantastic for self-care if you can do this. If I don't do that, Barb says, I will just keep going. My inner critic doesn't want me to stop, but I ignore her. Because sometimes, we talked about this earlier on, yeah, we become so immersed in a project that we lose that sense of time. Or I think sometimes for me, it's also adrenaline. It's kind of like our brains hook into the story in a certain way. Like I've heard other people who play video games describe this, that, you know, they know they've got stuff to do and they have to, like they've got work or whatever, but you just get into such a flow in these things that pulling yourself away can be very difficult. And I think sometimes, quite honestly, that my brain is addicted to stories. So Barb, I've had to do that with books before. I've had to set a timer for my reading so I don't overread. And that's a great idea. And Laura saying to B, I feel ya. My supplies are here, there, and everywhere, including in storage now. Reno and restore. Oh, Reno and restore from flood. That's right. You had the flood. Oy, oy, oy. Waterproofing needs to be done first. Arg. Lucky I have family who know how to do that. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that that's moving in the right direction. I am so sorry about that, Laura. I think it's strange to think that, you know, across the country, various folks are dealing with that exact same thing in many, you know, extreme and not so extreme ways. And I'm glad that you're able to stay on top of it and take care of it. And I hope things resolve soon so you can feel comfy and safe and at home in your space. And Johanna is saying, when I discovered the living room, I was looking for inspiration while my son, was in hospital halfway through his cancer treatment. Ever since, oh gosh, I associate the living room with healing. Oh, my heart. My heart. That's a lovely thing to have the living room associated to or with. Thank you. And I hope, how's your son doing? I hope he's okay. Each one of us, these journeys we go through, they're unpredictable and difficult. It's nice to know that you don't have to go through them alone, even if people may not always understand exactly what you're facing or dealing with in every given moment. Each one of us has a story to tell, and you can never know someone or what they're going through just by looking at them, can you? But I'm glad we could be there, and I'm grateful that you allowed us into your life in that little way so that we could be there. Thank you. Oh, and Jay saying, words to describe the studio. Community, safe, family, friends, create. Those are good words too. I love those words. Those are good words. Those are great words. Great, great words. And lovely affirming words for me to hear. Maybe, I know this was a bit for like us work with getting some work stuff done and out there, but it's nice to hear those things. I forget sometimes that I need to be reminded of what we do when we come together, what it can achieve and how it helps and what we're a part of in some way. Oh, and then back to felt and neon felt from B. Yes, B says felt in neon colors. I totally forgot I had it. If I had only looked in my quilting scraps bag, I never would have found it, but I was looking for spare pins in another bin and found those, so I'm gonna get weird with it. Definitely get weird with it. Always own your weirdness, everyone. Let's own our weirdness. And Johanna's saying, excellent. Yes, his 4th year as survivor on the 15th. Woohoo! And I give you a giant woohoo! And maybe perhaps a collective woohoo from the community. That is good to hear. That is great to hear. All right, so I don't know if you can see kind of, I'm attaching little sparkly bits and pieces there. And woohoo's coming through all around. Excellent. Excellent. And I do have some of these other little sparkly things here now. So what am I, kind of want to do stuff with those too. Why not? So it looks like I'm focusing on the lid of the box today. Why not? And snow. It's funny that I chose the word snow out of everything because, well, I like snow. I like looking at snow, but I don't like being in snow necessarily, but I look outside right now and it's snowing and it looks beautiful and magical. So I think maybe there's something about that magic outside that I'm trying to throw in here. Oh, and Carlos! Hello, Carlos. Howdy, y'all, he says. You're an intricate part of that larger community, Mary and I'm sure others appreciate all that you are and all that you do for the world around you. You're bloody brilliant. So is the living room community. Ah, throw in that. See, everyone, take some of that. We're brilliant. We're bloody brilliant. So take that. Take that, inner critic. Take that. And Carlos also says, and I love the sparkly piece you're making there. Oh, well, thank you. It's like a universe snow globe out there today. It's so pretty. It is. It is. So folks in Oshawa, if you look out your window right now, you might just see a lovely, lovely snow, that kind of nice, fluffy, but steady snow that makes you think of blanket nesting and cuddling and just being quiet and warm inside. Or perhaps like Wendy, you're like, this is the day you go out and you put on your boots and put on your coat and walk out along those trails. Some people are like that. This weather reminds me of like hunkering down in a nice way. But for some folks, it's all about getting out there. And B saying, did you summon the snow? Are you a winter art wizard? I don't know about that, but oh, and dandruff. The snow reminds Carlos of dandruff? Is that it? And Laura says, so where Laura is, there's snow there too. Oh, and Carlos clarifying, yes, sky dandruff. Yeah, why not? Oh, and hunkering down and staying in and blanket nesting, and Momo throws into that beautiful little indoor scene, hot chocolate and mug brownies, question mark? Yes. And if I can find, I'm sure I can find a vegan recipe for the mud brownies. So B can share, or, you know, we can look it up. First person to find recipes for mug brownies wins nothing. Except appreciation. Appreciation from all of us out here in the community who are now craving mug brownies because of B. And B says, it was delicious. Do I like that star? Maybe. Here we go. Put that there. Now that was the bag, the magical bag of stuff. I don't know if I have any of those other blue things. I'd love one more, but that will have to do for now. And while I'm at it, I think I better put some snow on the scenery inside of this box. And I think everyone on the stream is thinking about mug brownies now and just waiting, just thinking when they have an opportunity to make them. Not a bad thing at all. Not a bad thing at all. So let me put some sky dandruff on these hills here. And Carlos, if I may, on a little live stream here, I hope it's okay to wish Graham a public happy birthday. And happy birthday to anyone else out there who might be having one of those days as well. But for the record, happy birthday, Graham. And Barb says, when my girls were little, I used to collect snow in a bin and bring it inside. we would use food coloring to paint it. Oh, see, there's lots of ways to create. And especially like winter, yeah, snow art. At the studio, I remember there were opportunities where we would have huge piles of snow outside of the studio space. And one year, there were a couple of youth from the community who were a little bit restless, and we commissioned a snow couch outside of the studio from this big snow bank that we had there from all the like the snow we'd shoveled. And it was the best. It was lovely having a snow couch in front of the studio. So you just never know, do you? And Jay saying, I'm sitting in the car up the road from the kids' school, waiting for them to wander up, and it's beautiful out. Yeah, it's a lovely, if we have that loveliness of being able to be inside. And there's something interesting, isn't there, about being separate from the sound of it, the quietness of snow, and looking at it from inside and like to the outside. The motion of something. It's quite lovely. I don't know how to describe it. I don't know how to encapsulate that, but something quite beautiful if we have that luxury of being able to be inside on a day like this. But I say that I'm going to be taking Alice on her walk when I get off the live stream, and I'm going to have those moments outside as well where I just realize, yeah, how beautiful snow can be. Talk to me in February or late March, though, and we'll see how I feel about it then. And Carlos says, thanks about the birthday wishes for Graham. He's not in the room at the moment, but I'll pass that on. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, Jay wins. Jay wins appreciation for vegan mug cake brownie recipes. There we go, folks. It's out there now. There's probably another non-vegan ones for Momo. But it's out there. Thank you. Oh, yeah, mug cake for dinner. That's fine, right? Nothing not healthy about that. And I think I'm adding the white paint in, but I might also use some of those cotton balls to create little snow banks here once I get the tree ready. Why not? But there we go. Snow, snow, snow beginning. My little snowscape. Snowscape in a box. Coming to life, slowly but surely. And B saying, I love when it's snowing late at night and I can actually hear the snow touching the ground because it's so quiet. And Carlos saying, being inside during the snow, it's like being a part of the world, but not in it. And that's both inclusive and peaceful all at once. Oh, and B following that up. Like little tiny frost elf footsteps. Is that, oh, all these things, all these images I love. I feel like I could put all those things together and that's a poem. That's a beautiful thing. Poetry about snow. Snow through the window. Little fairy footsteps, elf footsteps in the snow. Love, love, love. There's a lot of love. I'm so appreciative of everything we share here. And I look forward to exploring what we're going to do ahead as we move forward. For now, oh my goodness. I think it's 3:30, folks. So let's have one where I'm going to put my little tree project aside for the moment. And brush aside all these little bits and pieces that I've found. Let's take a little close up to see what this looks like. Ah, there we go. So far, little world in a box. This is what you look like right now. Ah, that's nice. That is nice. I dig it. Oh, everyone, thank you so much for joining. And Laura says, bus time. Thanks for the after work art break. Well, thank you. And for everyone who's waiting for their kids in their car or going to pick up their kids or hanging with their fur family on the couch looking at the snowfall. Oh, lovely. It is lovely. Momo says it's like spring snow in this box. How wonderful is that? Themes about snow, self-care, talking back to the inner critics, protecting our time, what we think of the living room, all of these things. Always have such excellent conversations with everyone here every Wednesday. Thank you so much for making time for us in your day. And Momo saying, this was a great party. Well, I'm looking forward to having more parties with everybody soon. We'll be back next Wednesday, of course, for another live stream art studio. But yeah, keep in mind programming. We're probably going to take a break from our virtual programming on the 20th, 21st. So keep an eye out for that. And Jay, oh, I say hello to Liam, Nona, and Madeline. Hi. Hey, everybody. How you doing? Oh, and Momo with a nice big saying, eat local with what? Mug cake? I will definitely be having a local mug cake later on today. Absolutely. Local as in my kitchen local for sure. But enjoying all of your time, all of your art, all of your heart as usual. Thanks so much. And as Carlos is saying, thanks for the connection. It was awesome. And for everyone who's out there doing whatever you're doing, and for a lot of us, that is doing a lot and maybe even sometimes too much. I just invite you, not the boss of you, but I invite you to take care of yourselves. There's a lot going on, and this season in general carries a lot of extra stuff with it. Take time to find those lighter moments, to find the things and do the things, even if you can only do it for a little bit, the things that bring you wellness or joy or whatever kind of peace that is. Looking out the window at the snow, cuddling with the cat, baking cookies or a mug cake, whatever that might be, please find the time if you can to give that to yourself and just building in like a lovely little stockpile of wellness for yourself as we move forward into this time, which can be heavy and weird and intense, but hopefully for all of us, it will also be beautiful and sacred and precious and joy-filled. But for now, have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Thanks for watching and participating, everyone, during the live stream. Thank you to everyone who's watched while it's being archived. You matter too. And we'll see you again soon. So until we can connect and create with one another in person, I look forward to connecting and creating with you right here online with the Living Room Art Studio. Bye, folks. Bye.